What was that?
I don't know.
There's something in there.
Whoa, hold on.
What is that?
Did you see that just now? Are those eyes?
Watch this.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all had a most excellent Columbus Day weekend. Now, we've got a few movies to look at today. Let's get right to it. Now, over the weekend, I got a couple of requests for some movies. And the first request I'll be looking at quickly is Dancer in the Dark. Now, this movie tells of a Czech immigrant named Selma trying to get by in life. Now, she suffers from a progressive disease that slowly makes her blind, but she keeps optimistic by going to the movies, watching classic American musicals, and even daydreaming that she's in one herself on several occasions. Now, this is definitely one of the more unique musicals out there. I found it interesting that they decided to film it as if they were using handheld cameras making low-budget documentaries. And there's also a lot of good drama in it as well, though it does get really depressing as the movie goes on. Now, for me, the best thing that this movie had going for it were the songs. They were creative, well sung, and choreographed very well. I will admit the movie at first was a bit jarring when I started watching it, but after a while, I adjusted just fine. I don't think, however, that this movie would be enjoyed by everyone. It is one of those movies in which either you love it or you hate it. Now, if you're looking for something of a more alternative take on the film musical, however, definitely give this one a watch and see where you fall on the love it or hate it spectrum. Now, my second request over the weekend was for the movie Maze Runner. A young man named Thomas finds himself in an isolated area with other boys surrounded by a giant stone labyrinth. Going out into the maze is dangerous as no one knows what's on the other side. As things begin to unravel, the mystery of the maze begins to expose itself, and Thomas and the group have to find a way to survive and escape. Now, with all of the recent young adult movies trying to come in to steal the Hunger Games thunder, Maze Runner actually stands out as one of the better movies. The characters in this movie are excellent. The actors do very well in portraying their roles, and they work off of each other really great. You can really sense the camaraderie between these people. Now, another thing that this movie did very well was the mystery and suspense on what the antagonistic force was for the majority of the movie. With most other young adult movies, the antagonists are usually revealed right away. Maze Runner, however, keeps you guessing and guessing on what or who is exactly outside of the giant maze. It works great, and it kept me invested out through the entire movie. This is definitely the movie to keep you satisfied until the next Hunger Games movie is released. I also hope they make a sequel to this movie. I'm ready to see more. Now on to this week's main feature, Earth to Echo. A young group of friends living in the suburbs only have one more night for fun together before they have to move. They decide to go exploring the outskirts of town when they come across a strange creature sending interference to their phones. It turns out that this creature is a lost alien who's trying to find the parts to his ship to return home. Thus, it's up to this gang of kids to look out for this lost alien and keep him safe from others hunting it down. Gee, does this sound somewhat familiar? It should, because this movie is basically another E.T. movie, and yet, I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just not original is all. The story is basically E.T. in which there's a lost alien trying to reach home, and only a handful of kids are there to protect it from the big bad government agents. It doesn't really add anything new, but at the same time, it manages to tell this same story pretty well. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that this movie is shot found footage style. I do have to give the movie credit for going that route, as we get to see the action from the kids' point of view of their situation. The camera doesn't shake about too much that it becomes vomit-inducing, and I found it quite satisfying. It only shakes when it's necessary, and you get to see most of everything just fine. Now, I'm not usually a huge fan of the found footage genre, but here, I found it okay to watch. Now, the kid actors in this movie I did find enjoyable to watch. They're great actors for their age, and they managed to deliver great performances. Again, however, their characters aren't that original. They take character traits from other movies such as Stand By Me, Goonies, and Super 8 to create these characters. They're still presented well, however, and the relationships between each other are genuine and credible. They're much more interesting than the adult characters. The adults in this movie are given little to no depth. Of course, the bad guys are adults, and that's about it. We don't know anything else except that they want the alien and keep it from going home. And the parents are just there to be, well, the parents. No more, no less. Thankfully, the majority of the film is focused on the kids, which is where the heart and soul of the movie is. Earth to Echo is one of those films that just plays it safe. Again, it doesn't add anything original to make it stand out plot-wise. However, it still manages to deliver an okay experience. I think this movie was meant to be an introduction to the family sci-fi adventure for younger viewers. My younger brother, for example, saw this movie, and he seemed to have a great time watching it. And I guess in the end, that's all that matters. It's not a big blockbuster that you have to see immediately, but at the same time, it's not a waste of time if you decide to go watch this. If you have younger siblings or children, I'd say take them to go see this. I think that they'll enjoy this movie very much. Of course, afterwards, have them watch some of the classics such as E.T. Don't forget to follow me at Hair Beverage for any updates of mine as well as for your film requests. And don't forget to follow the rest of Mason Cable Network as well. I shall see you all next time. Until then.
This is not just about us anymore. Go! It's about other people now.
This is my final message. I love you guys.
We're all he's got.